Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Marketer's Blueprint podcast. I am your host, Nathan Gibson, and I have with me again the bald, the beautiful, the entrepreneur, Gabe Arnold. Gabe, how's your Friday going?
It's good. I never knew I'd be so famous for being bald and beautiful, but I was going to mess with you and put my hat on and see if you changed it up, but it didn't work. So,
Absolutely not. I have to notate it because bald is beautiful. My stepdad's bald, you're bald. It's a great look. I'm not, but hey, maybe one day, right?
you
So,
can only dream, right?
exactly. I know that it works because I know so many great bald men. I have to touch on it, so we like to get these started out the right way. But yeah, welcome back, everybody. We have a really exciting topic today that I'm super thrilled to chat about today. And I'm going to start with a question. We like to do this sometimes where I just provoke some thought from the master himself, Gabe. Gabe, on average, how long would you say that a marketing trend typically lasts?
18 months to 3 years. That's been my experience.
Yeah, that's a pretty wide margin. Explain a little bit. I'm curious why you gave that answer.
Yeah, well, I look at everything from the long view, and so when I look at things like AI is a great a trend word right now, and
Yeah.
the early I guess we'd have to define trend. Like at the peak of its popularity, it's probably 6 to 12 months. There's a book called Crossing the Chasm, I think, and it talks about early market adopters and then build up and ramp up and popularity. And
Mm.
so when I think about AI, we started using it 2.5 years before anybody was talking about it. And so when it got popular, it was already like, oh yeah, we know what that is, and we've already been using that for a couple of years.
Right.
But it's like we're somewhere like 4 or 5 years into actual the build up and ramp up of where AI is today. If I look at something like Clubhouse, which I had dozens of people tell me if I wasn't on there, then I was missing out and I wasn't going to be able to grow my business, which intuitively I just knew wasn't true because Clubhouse came out, if I remember right, like right around when COVID hit or somewhere real close to the beginning of COVID. I can't remember the exact dates, but it was like super hot for 6 months and then it's died. And I don't even know if you know what Clubhouse is, Nathan. So
I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't. What was Clubhouse? It obviously didn't make a huge lasting impact, and it fell victim to the, oh my gosh, you have to do this or you're gonna fail. This has to be what you do. We've talked about that on past episodes, how business owners like pigeonhole themselves into a trend, right?
yeah,
So obviously it didn't pan out.
no, it was super hot for 6 months. It was an audio only social network, which the concept is super interesting, but it was like
Yeah.
live stream. I don't know. It worked and then it didn't. And I still know people that make money there. To be clear, like
Wow.
it's not a dead channel,
Hmm.
but like Elon Musk was on there, Zuckerberg was on there.
Okay.
I forget who else. Grant Cardone, of course, because he's loud and everywhere, um, and tries to tell everybody that you have to be loud and everywhere to be successful, which is not true.
Nope.
But all that to say, like, yeah, it spiked. It was super fun, and then it died. But it was just an audio-only social network. And when anything new comes out, I will check it out. I'll spend
Of course.
a few hours, or I might spend an hour a week, so I have awareness in case it is something that's useful. But yeah, typically, I guess I'll adjust my answer. Some things last for like 6 to 12 months. I guess if something's reaching like 2, 3 years, then it's no longer a trend. But you're also talking to a guy that is not trendy, and in general dislikes trends. So,
That's a fair point, though, because you don't want to fall victim into that path of like locking yourself into something you think is going to be big, and then it turns out to not be big. Then you throw all your eggs in one basket for something that just doesn't quite pan out. So
yeah.
I totally see where you're coming from. The marketing landscape is constantly evolving, right? But there are some strategies that have stood the test of time, right? We're talking about trends now that have died, but there are some things that stay persistent, and we've seen this over the years as a company, and there'll be a lot of good things that you have to say about these. So in today's episode, we're going to explore 4 key trends that are currently effective and likely to remain so in the future. Our team has put together these 4 topics, and these are 4 that we have really dove into very deeply as a team and have stood the test of time. We've been in business for 18 years now, and these are things that we've seen be consistent. Some rise or decrease in popularity over the years, but they stay consistent. And we've always talked about how consistency is so important in marketing. So let's dive right in. First is one that is really popular right now, and that's user-generated content, or UGC. A lot of you may know what this is, but for anybody that doesn't, UGC is a type of content, text, images, videos, etc., that is created by users or customers rather than the brand itself. A really, really good example of this, and you see this a lot on TikTok these days, is unboxing videos, right? A business will send a product to a influencer or content creator, and they will unbox it and give their first thoughts on it. It can be a two-edged sword if they don't like it, if they're a true, unbiased content creator, but it can also create this sense of, for the viewer watching it, this person's just like me. They're just unboxing it, and you can get kind of their first reaction and almost assume how your first reaction of the product would be. This works because it builds trust, authenticity, and social proof, which is really big in the marketing landscape that we're in right now. And it also helps to extend your brand's reach and continue to create a community because you're having users and actual consumers create content with the product. Why it's going to continue to work is consumers are increasingly skeptical of traditional advertising. We talk about that a lot. Things are changing and you have to adapt. People are becoming numb to traditional marketing. So that's where UGC provides genuine and relatable ways to connect with your audience, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And when we see a trend like this that is effective and successful, it's because it's based on human psychology and principles that will be here forever.
Yeah.
UGC, I first started talking about UGC 10 years ago when we were creating content for some viral sites, when we were working on some projects like that. And it's the inception of it. Again, I guess I always find things early and play the long view, but the inception of it has been has been around for quite a while, but it's heightened right now for exactly what you said. When somebody shares their authentic experience with a brand, they're posting a picture, they're talking about their experience, they're doing an unboxing, testimonials after they went to an event or worked with you, all of that stuff is truly authentic. And the reason that it works so well is there's a few things inside of it. Is one, we as humans can instinctually, almost instantly tell if something is genuine that's being communicated from somebody else. And so when somebody has a great experience with BME as example, like one of our clients for multiple weeks in a row now has been getting super qualified leads, and they keep telling the team, like, this is amazing. I'm getting sales from the ad campaigns. Everybody we worked with in the past, it didn't work. I'm so pleased. I'm so impressed. They tell us that on video calls. They've sent us emails. The energy behind that is authentic and real because it's really happening. Yeah. And they're sharing their experience. And so we share those things. We put those out. Like we put out some other wins this week in the Marketer's Blueprint email, and we share those things here as well. But when it's come straight from our clients, it's easier to relate to and it's more authentic because of the energy behind that. And also it plays into something I know we've talked about before on the show, Nathan, where if you're the one like unboxing your new computer that you just bought, and then my son watches that because he's a gamer like you. Love that. He's gonna go, oh, like this worked for that guy, and he's this cool gamer, and he's gonna identify with you, and you're having a positive experience, and he's gonna then assimilate or associate by saying like, oh, like if Nathan's having a positive experience, then I'm probably gonna have a positive experience too. And it's not the company, the computer brand saying like, you're going to have a great experience with this, Nathan. That doesn't sound credible or trustworthy unless you've spent so much in brand equity and investment that you're Apple, who understands the language of their audience so well that they can put an ad out and all Apple fans go, oh, I can't wait to get that because I am an Apple
That's
person.
A big step, like in that level of brand recognition, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's almost like a separation there.
It's a different stratosphere of brand equity that companies like that have, and they've spent decades and billions to get there, and everybody has that opportunity, but it's a lot more effective in whatever stage of business you're in. Like, say you're anywhere from startup to 10 million. Going out and just having, getting that content from your users, asking them to share that stuff is huge. And even a huge brand like Chewy, Chewy.com, in all their packaging, it says, snap a picture and put this hashtag of your Chewy delivery experience. And so they have all sorts of cool, really great stuff. They have really funny things. I saw one where somebody got like 500 bags of kitty litter or something, and that was hilarious.
Send some my way.
But yeah, so UGC is huge, and it works because of the psychological principles, and it will be working for the next 10 years. So
Absolutely.
how people are doing UGC, is it TikTok unboxings, is it whatever, is it YouTube stuff, is it taking pictures and posting that stuff on Instagram or Facebook? How people are doing UGC is going to trend and change, and there's certain things that are working really well right now that we really help our clients do really well and capitalize on how. But why UGC is working will work for the next, century, in my opinion. Probably.
Totally agree. Over a lot of what we're going to talk about, UGC is always going to be huge. And I think that the touch point that you just mentioned is huge. The medium, the method could change. It's TikTok right now. Back in the day, it could have been blogs. You know what I mean? But the fact of UGC is going to remain. So I love that. The next one is one that is really big for what we're doing right now, and it's video podcasting, or as some people are referring to, vodcasting. So we record video because, let's face it, podcasting has been around for a while. It's been around for a long time. But the rise of video podcasts is honestly, in the grand scope of things, a newer kind of trend. Vodcasting combines the audio format of traditional podcasts with video footage, just like we're doing right now. Why this works is because vodcasting offers a unique blend of audio and visual content, which is huge right now, making it honestly more engaging and informative. We have a lot of YouTube viewers that like to see, our facial expressions, how we react, us laughing, and getting that genuine emotional connection. This works because, why it will continue to work is because as video consumption continues to rise as it's trending, we all know that video is king right now. Vodcasting provides a valuable platform for sharing your expertise and connecting almost face-to-face with your audience, right?
Yeah. The advantage of being able to move to video, which I'll touch on some early signs that people can watch for, of how you can have a little bit of predictability on this in a minute. But the advantage of video podcasting and vodcasting, which is the new term for what we've been doing for a while, is that you get to increase the amount of information you pass to your audience. And that's because nonverbal cues, facial expressions, like everything that's nonverbal carries a significantly larger percentage of communication. And so for everybody that gets to watch this live on YouTube, for those of you who listen on audio, we love you too. There's nothing wrong with you.
Yeah.
Because I listen to way more stuff on audio based on if I'm out taking a walk or doing other things.
Right.
But when I get to sit down and watch a video, I actually get to get way more data and information because of, again, body movement, facial expression, all of that. And so you're passing a significant amount more of data into your audience's brain through video, and it's more engaging, it's more entertaining. The depth of learning can be a lot faster for certain people. To be clear, there's some people that would learn way more by not be distracting by audio, the video and just listening to audio. But the larger majority of people are so visual that they can take in a lot more by, reading our faces as we're talking here too.
Exactly, and it creates that connection aspect of it. That's why podcasting is so amazing, is because it's so versatile. We've talked about this before. It can be an audio-only thing, but when you add video to it, it's like adding extra spices to a dish that's already good. But it just needs a little something to kick it up a notch. So that's what makes vodcasting, as people are calling it, so prevalent. And guys, we have a blast recording this podcast. It is the most fun thing I do during my whole work week. And if you want to get into podcasting, we have lots of great tips and tricks, and we are still running a promo for all of our lovely viewers and listeners to this podcast. You can use a promo code that we have called PODCAST50, that's PODCAST50 at checkout, which we'll have the link in our YouTube, now through November 1st to get 50% off, a huge deal on what's already pretty reasonably priced info on how you can get started podcasting, because it is so amazing. So that's what we have going on with podcasting. But there's another one I'd like to talk about that is absolutely huge, and we've talked about before, and that is Reels and short form video. So most people know what Reels and short form video is, but what it is short, engaging video clips that can be shared on social media platforms like Instagram and TikTok and even YouTube now. But not a lot of people think about this. Short form content has been on the rise for over 10 years now. Do you remember Vine, Gabe?
I do. I used it.
Vine was the beginning of short form reel type content, and our lovely copywriter Ashley was giving me some ideas for the podcast today, and she was like, "Did you know Vine came out in 2012?" I was like, "What?" I was 13 years old, so I was just like in middle school, almost high school, and so it was a perfect time for things like that. I never made videos on it, but you can make sure I was definitely scrolling through that when I was probably should have been paying attention in class. But that's how long short form video content has been on the rise. It works because short form videos are highly engaging and people have a short attention span these days. So it can be used to quickly deliver key messages, and they're also easily shareable and can help increase your brand's reach. It will continue to work because we've seen this trend do nothing but rise since literally 2012, because the popularity of short form video shows no signs of slowing down. Period, point blank, nothing. We tell our clients all the time, if you want to get into creating content, video content, short form is the way. It's an ideal format for capturing attention and driving engagement, as we're finding, from all ages, right? You and I have a pretty big age gap, but we both consume short form media, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's a. I'm glad you guys got the date on it because it's been around forever, and it speaks to something I was going to say about podcasting too. Is that one of the things that can give you some early guideposts on what is going to grow and build is how fast technology is advancing. So the reason that short form is more popular today than in 2012 is, in my opinion, not because society has changed that much,
Right.
like we were consuming it then, but it's because technology has advanced to the point that it makes it easy for anybody to do short form.
True.
Vine was relatively easy, but it was still new and not a
A
lot of
little
people.
wonky, a little early on.
Now I can, with a free app or not even any kind of app, I can shoot something and post a reel because all the platforms make it really easy. And so the speed of technology, the connectivity of internet, connection speeds, all of that stuff is cumulatively making that a more accessible channel. Short form is amazing, and I will say a couple things. One, I agree and disagree that people's attention spans are getting shorter because there's plenty of research that states that. And then I also know on the opposite side that long form YouTube content is growing and working even better too. And so there's actually a tie through that most people aren't aware of. The reason that short form video can work so well is because you're incrementally building a long, deep relationship with your followers. So there's a handful of, I don't watch a ton of short form compared to the rest of the content I consume, but I probably watch 20 minutes a day, maybe somewhere in there. But I selectively follow and watch a few people, and there's one creator that cracks me up, and it's the main reason I watch him, and that's the value I get out of it. And I will watch all of his videos, and I know what kind of person he is now. I know what kind of dad he is. And so he's incrementally building this whole profile for me, and I get to know him a minute at a time. And so
that's an interesting concept. Yeah.
Really key to realize that, yes, the delivery method, like we talked about, methods are going to change, but the principle is what we focus on. The delivery method is these short chunks. But as you think about creating your short videos, and of course you need help on that, we can definitely talk to you about how that works. Just reach out. And we'd love to have those conversations because it is a really valuable principle-based strategy right now. But with the intention of saying, not, I'm going to make up a new video to entertain people every day, because the vast majority of the people we serve are providing products and services, and so they're not in the entertainment space. They're in the educational space of educating their audience of, this is how my product solves problems for you, or this is how my service solves problem for you. The intention needs to be, how do I, over the course of a month, maybe 15, 20, 30 shorts, 2 months, 40, 60, 3 months, 60, 70, 90 shorts, how do I basically color in the full picture of what it's like to work with us and the amazing results we get our clients and our values and our integrity and why we can show up differently than all of our competitors. It's actually it's filling in the puzzle piece by piece. You are getting long focus and attention from your audience in little bite-sized chunks. And I know it sounds a little contradictory and kind of doublespeak, but the reality is, if we don't focus on short form with that long view, then we'll just pop up content that may be entertaining, may work or not work, but we don't have a long enough view to be building that depth of relationship and all the context in that way. So I in general don't believe that people have lower attention spans. I believe that people are hyper selective in what they're willing to spend their attention on, and that's a very different view that will get you different results in what you create.
Yeah, that's an excellent way of putting it, and I'm glad that you kind of corrected me there, because that's the truth. Is because it really is, people are more selective and more aware of content, so they can pick and choose what they want to consume, whether that's short form or long form. And then I also agree with what you said, is it builds over time. Short, bite-sized chunks that build off of each other. So it's like stacking Legos together and building something bigger. Putting one piece on top of another. So that is a great analogy, and you guys should take away from that. I love that. Another one, the last one, and then we'll talk about our wins, my favorite section of the week. This one has stood the test of time, and it still continues to do so, and it's part of what we do here on the Marketer's Blueprint podcast, because we have a Marketer's Blueprint newsletter. Newsletters are consistent email updates that provide information, news, tips, resources. They're so versatile, and they stand the test of time. They work because email marketing remains a powerful tool for reaching your target audience and building relationships. We've had a newsletter for a long time. We have helped people build newsletters so many times. Successful newsletters. If you guys need help, we have some of the best copywriters in the world. They are fantastic at what they do. But they offer a personalized way to deliver your content in a way that's consistent but not overbearing. It is super important to be consistent when it comes to newsletters. They will continue to work because despite the rise of social media, email marketing remains a crucial component to a successful marketing strategy. We've seen it time and time again. So what it does is it allows your audience to directly build a loyal subscriber base with your content, right?
Yep. Yeah. I laugh every time I see this, and I'm sure I'll see it many times over the rest of my career, but I see these stupid ads that say email is dead. And then I want to write a long response to them. I don't, but I always laugh when I see silly things like that. Email has been around like in the way that we use email newsletters since the 90s. I don't remember the exact date, but it's been around, I guess, longer than you've been alive, Nathan.
Ouch. But no, you're right.
But the reason it's so valuable is that it gives you that direct connection to an individual. It can be personalized, of course. And what's awesome about email, and I truly don't expect this to change in free market economies, which fortunately most of the world, or more of the world, is free market economy than censored these days.
Yeah.
Is that you can say whatever you want to say in email as long as you're not so far over the line that your own subscribers report you, and if your own users are reporting you, then you're doing something you shouldn't be doing. But all that to say that when we're talking about marketing and advertising, there's so many alternative health companies we work with. There's so many consultants that do things a little bit differently, or that can't fully transparently disclose everything they do on an ad channel like Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or Google, because those companies have to play by international rules, and they have the right, their boards, their leadership, they have the right to say, I don't want ads about THC on my platform, which that may change in the future, but a lot of platforms just wouldn't allow that right now. Mm-hmm. That's fine. That's their right. That's their platform. You're renting to play on that platform. With an email list, you have high control. And if you're out there serving and helping your customers, then you can bring somebody in from a clear, authentic, ethical message, but then you can go deeper and say, this is how we offer the solution. This is what we do. And you don't have to play by as restrictive rules inside of email. And the reason that I'm confident that email will always be protected at that level is because the amount of email communications that go on between doctors and patients, lawyers and their clients, private, business stuff. Like I said, in a free market economy, unless you're doing something where you deserve to be caught, that's a different situation.
True.
you have so much latitude to talk about things liberally in a way that you don't have to comply with an ad platform or a public channel.
Yep.
And again, that I'm not sharing that to tell people like, go do foolish, hurtful things.
Definitely don't.
But I'm saying like there's some platforms that it's not the right place to speak about things,
Yeah.
where that gives you a private channel to be open, to share authentically, to do, to speak about the truth of what your product and service delivers as far as value to people's lives. And it is a very intimate channel, and people truly get to know you, especially if you're writing authentically, you're not copy and pasting AI or doing anything stupid like that.
Please don't.
And you're just consistently putting out a message from you. Don't send your newsletter from your company name. Nobody needs to get email from a non-existent, non-breathing entity.
Yeah.
It should come from you as the founder or one of the key leaders in your business. Or maybe you do know that, somebody on your team you're confident and they're going to be around a long time. Have it come from a person, and they'll develop a relationship with you. I give one more example here. I have spent probably going on $50,000, which is not huge, but it's not nothing, with somebody that I was on his email list for like 3 years, and I got to know him and trust him. And then when he made an offer, I was like, no question, I just bought what he had to offer, because he'd spent years nurturing me through that relationship.
Exactly.
And so
that's huge.
Email, and I can probably look up more recent stats, but typically a performing email list should make you somewhere between $10 to $15 per subscriber per year. So if you got 1,000 people on your email list and you're really intentional and you serve them well, you should be able to generate, $10,000-$15,000 from them at minimum. And there's plenty of clients that we work with that generate way more than that.
Oh yeah.
And there's plenty of people I know that are able to use email with that level of leverage. But it's a channel that's not going anywhere, and it's definitely something, of all the marketing channels, it's one that I believe should be instituted early into a business's marketing strategy.
I totally agree. And email marketing can be a bit daunting. So I can't state it enough. We have some of the best designers and copywriters in the world. They write some of the best newsletter. We actually have a really fun internal newsletter that I was captivated by today. It had a picture of my setup, and I felt super proud as an employee. I was like, yeah, I got my little gaming setup everybody can see. I got my nerdy posters in the back. Everybody knows me. So anyway, without divulging too deep, I think that they're super great. And the most important thing to take away from what you said, I think, is that they're highly personalized. You can really niche down with that, and that will never change. Social media platforms will always have restrictions that we're experts in navigating, so don't worry about that. But email provides a unique opportunity to niche down and to directly speak to your target audience. It is not to be understated. So that actually leads me to our last section of the day, my favorite, can't lie, is our wins, what we have going on at BME. So recently we successfully launched a client's new luxury product promotion campaign under a really tight timeline. I gotta give kudos and hats off to our team. They did an excellent job. So our team's dedication and expertise ensured a timely and excellent launch of a client's new product promotion. We overcame some pretty hefty challenges and exceeded expectations, which demonstrated our commitment to delivering exceptional results for our clients. Time and time again, our team at BME blows my mind. Their dedication to excellence and going above and beyond to serve our clients is not also to be understated. Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah, the thing that makes us strong as a company, and we've spent years and years investing in this, is that everything we do is based on a process. And that's what makes us strong, because we have some of the most creative, inspired people on the team, and that's a huge part of our work. But the reason that we can deliver, in this case, where lots of factors not completely in our control, not completely in our client's control, happen, where we had a much shorter ramp up and launch for this campaign. But because we're so process driven, we knew how to be even more efficient inside of our processes. And if you're working with any vendor, any partner, it doesn't matter if they're in marketing or advertising or what they're doing for you, if they can't demonstrate process to you, then they're not going to be able to consistently deliver results, and they're not going to be able to overcome the guaranteed challenges you will have in your business, in your marketing, and everything that comes up. And so that's why when we walk through something even like this project, where it was a huge win, these are, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 sales that are going on from this promotion now.
Huge.
And going really well. Like, there's a couple rough spots and bumps that occurred because of the short timeline, but that's okay because we're so process driven that we identify them and we will fix them for the next launch that's happening in 90 days. So that's something I would just encourage everybody is make sure that whoever you partner with, you truly understand their process. And if they can't prove to you that they're process driven, just be aware you're not going to get consistent results.
Yep. And that's what I love about BME is because we create processes from the learnings that we've had. We've tried, we've failed, and then we succeed and we learn from those mistakes. And that's why we've developed these processes and why they work. They help us deal with these tight situations in an effective and clear manner that allows us to have wins like that. So what a great episode. Guys, if you need help, we covered 4 huge marketing trends that likely won't die. User-generated content, video podcasting, reels and short form video, and newsletters, one of the big ones. If you guys need any help leveraging these tools for your business, reach out to me. We will have a link in the YouTube description. You can find us at businessmarketingengine.com. I would love to learn more about your business and talk about what we can do for you. But we're going to wrap up this and get on with the rest of our Friday and into the weekend. Gabe, it was lovely to be here again with you, and I will see everybody next week.
See you later, everybody.
Bye-bye.